everybody. It's still Friday, August 2nd. I am Rob, that developer dad. And if y'all will bear with me for just a minute, I want to put the call out on Discord while I'm just kind of getting my stuff together here about what I'm doing. There we go. And I'll post a Froggy Pants. I'll do this. There we go. And nah, I'm not going to double post to that channel. So let's quit out of Discord. And this morning we started putting together our more composable page model. And we want to think about things like this. And I think rather than tearing apart everything I've done on the npcgenerator.razor and its code behind and all that stuff, I want to start fresh. Let me share what I'm looking at here on my main screen. So rather than tear npcgenerator.razor apart and all of this stuff, I'm going to start fresh with a new page. And I did cheat a little bit and started putting that together during the break. Just getting started with it. And I've learned a couple of things about how the Razor page and component, or the Blazor page and component model works. What we do is for a component, and we can still follow the same kind of idea where the Razor code is our view, and then instead of doing what I'm doing here with the inherits, I've actually turned this into a public partial class so that we no longer need to inherit it. It actually becomes a sort of theoretically, because as soon as I got rid of my inherits, it blew everything up. But I don't think this is necessarily wrong. I actually have a tutorial over here, partial class support. So in this article, which I will try and attach, or I'll try and remember to attach this to the video links and stuff. It says components are generated as C# partial classes and are authored using either one of the following approaches. So a single file contains C# code defined in the @code block, which I don't like. It also includes all the HTML markup and Razor markup and all that good stuff. Or we can put the HTML and Razor markup in the .razor file, and C# code gets placed in a code behind file defined as a partial class. So I like that. Like this is the single file version here. But then if we split it out so that it's public partial class, counter partial class, counter dash partial dash class. Now, for some goofy reason, these using directives are only applied to Razor files, not C# files. Okay. We have to add namespaces as needed up here. Typical namespaces include the namespace of the app and the namespace corresponding to the app's components folder. All right, fine, layout, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we need to specify a base class here. So let's see if I actually did add a base class over on this. And I did, and I don't think I need it. Let's get rid of that. Save it and see if that fixed anything over here. I'm going to try building. And it might just freak out and throw up all over me and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it really didn't like that. I wonder if I can just do this. Save it. Does that fix anything? It doesn't seem to. So let's take another look at what it's talking about here. Now this isn't a page, it's just a component. Counter on click equals. Okay, so theoretically this should work, but it really doesn't like it. So counter partial class dot razor. Do I have everything named correctly? These page models, partials. So ViewNpcAttributes dot razor, ViewNpcAttributes dot razor dot cs. Okay. That should theoretically give us what we want. But I think I've got something goofy going on in here. And I got to get rid of this. Goodbye. Save that. Come back here. And it fixes everything. And I can get rid of this dot and all of these at this dots. And it tidies things up nicely. So when you're using a partial class, you have to name it exactly the same as the razor component. I should have known that, and I did, but because I was thrashing about and trying to figure out how to get this stuff a little bit friendlier, I got some names flipped around and not quite right. But it seems like we're compiling now, so that's good. And use metric is just a parameter. Cascading parameter is town person model. Okay. And we gotta change this. Boop. And can I rebuild now and have it actually behave itself? Or is it gonna keep complaining? Let's find out. And because model is a cascading parameter, and I'm going to explain what that means in a second. ViewNpcAttributes. So cascading parameters essentially mean that if an ancestor component further out the hierarchy defines a property called model that is a townsperson, then it's going to be passed into this this component. Now, because of that, I should probably not use the word model for this property. So I'm going to change it to NPC model. Now I'm going to say current NPC. Save that. And then, of course, all of these things are just pass-throughs, so we're good. And I think, just in case, current NPC equals new townsperson. We'll put that default constructor thing in there just for safety's sake. So I've created a new Razor page called out here called Create NPC. And instead of doing the code behind pattern, I created a page models namespace under pages, and I'm defining a class that's actually going to inherit from component base that is the page model, and then my create NPC page is going to inherit from that page model. So up here in the page model, I'm going to create a public with a lowercase p, and I'm going to put it below because it is a property here. Public townsperson current NPC get set, but I'm going to make it a private set. And current NPC equals generate NPC. Now we don't have a generate NPC yet. And let's make sure that is the same name, including the case. So I'm going to copy this, come out to the page model, and make absolutely certain we've got a matchup. Now, generate NPC needs to be a private method. Private townsperson generate NPC. We're not going to have any parameters on that. Now, to get this connected, we're going to use the same view model manager, the NPC view model manager here, but it's not going to be returning display NPC view models. We're going to be doing something different here. So it's just going to be returning townsfolk as opposed to these models. And I'm wondering if I'm going to regret this, because townsfolk is an application model, and we want to be dealing with presentation models. So I think we're going to keep display NPC view model as we have it. But I'm going to change it to something else. Let's rename this class to NPC client model. Yes, change it everywhere. Save that. Come out to the NPC page model. And instead of dealing with a townsperson, I'm going to deal with an NPC client model. Good. NPC client model, we'll change it there. And I'm going to come out to my new thingy here. And it is going to be an NPC client model. And we have to tell it where to find it using this. Good. And we've probably got some goofiness. NPC client model. Good. I think we can just get rid of all of these property traversals, height, I think we can just go to height. And we no longer actually need this check here. Get rid of all of this crap. Goodbye. We'll do the exact same thing here. Is current NPC dot weight. Get rid of all of that rubbish. Appearance. We can just plumb straight out. Current NPC dot appearance. Get rid of the nonsense. That's tidied up. I'm going to have to change this event handler, but yeah. Let's go to current NPC dot history. Good. Current NPC dot profession. Good. And then I have an event handler declared up at the top of my class here that's expecting a townsperson. It's going to be expecting an NPC client model now. Save everything. Now, generate NPC doesn't really exist here. So we are going to need to create a, and for this we're going to have to look at what we did with the generate NPC component out here. Got our cascading parameter of a weight wrapper. We're going to need this. So copy this over to our page model. Drop it here. And I'm going to change this to NPC services. And I'm going to change the name of that view model manager down here because it's no longer going to be really managing view models. I'm going to rename this class to NPC service provider. Boom. Yes. Change that everywhere. Save everything. NPC client model. Let's come up with the page model and generate NPC. Is it complaining about the same thing in here? Yeah, it is. Whatever. I'm not that worried. Okay. So, NPC services dot generate random NPC. Boop. Current NPC equals NPC services. Oh, wait. NPC client model. There we go. Now I've got my head out of my butt. Return model. Okay. Save that. And we're good, I believe. Great. So let's start adding some stuff to our actual create NPC page. Create a new NPC. And let's add view NPC attributes and maybe that's all we need. Just to get started. So I'm going to build. I'm going to rebuild. Tear the whole thing down and build it back up again from scratch. And I've got some spammers, and I wonder if I come over to Twitch. Here we go. It looks like they don't show up on the stream necessarily. Okay. Whatever. Okay. I'm not gonna press myself on it. All right. So we built, and I'm gonna try running this thing. And the new URL I'm gonna have to go to after I verify that all of the big renaming and refactoring and all of that stuff that I've done still works. Like, I want to make sure I didn't break this. Looks like we're still good. Now, what happens if I come over to create NPC? Is that plural? It is not. Okay. So, create a new NPC, selected attributes, species, it looks like as. Appearance has none, profession history, yeah. Okay, we gotta figure out what's happening here. So, inside our create NPC page model, uninitialized current NPC equals generate NPC. So let's see what goes on here. I'm going to drop a breakpoint right there. Come out here, reload. Here's our breakpoint. Good. I stepped over it like a bonehead. Current NPC. Do we have any stuff in there? We've got all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't appear to be propagating out. So we're in our view NPC attributes. Step over. Let's do that. Current NPC is null. So all of these things are just vomiting all over the place. And this cascading parameter is not what I want to use here, or I'm doing it wrong. Let's just continue. It's going to vomit all over the place. Yep, it threw up. So let's see what I can find out about cascading parameters and how best to use those. You guys don't need to see my LinkedIn. We want to look at this stuff. And input components. Let's come over here to the Razor components. Blazor, fundamentals, components. Let's see about parameters. Components, yeah, templated. Why is that jumping around like that? That's really annoying. Pre-render, preserve relationships with that key. Overwriting parameters. Okay, just avoid. Yeah, I know. Specify a base class, not what I want to do. Don't want to do markup. Nested components. Yeah. I wonder if I need to do it this way, where I come out to create npc.razor, and in here I say current npc c equals at current npc. Let's save that. And we'll try running it. / create npc. Excuse me. Step over this. We know we get the random generation stuff happen in the background. Step out. Something's happening somewhere. Where's my continue button? Let's restart. And I'm going to disable my breakpoint here. And I'll come into this one. Drop a breakpoint here instead. Current NPC. Where are we at here? Okay. Wait. / create NPC. It's null. And we're getting a blank screen. I don't know what gives there. So obviously that was the wrong choice. ViewNpcAttributes. Let's see how cascading parameters are actually supposed to work. Component parameters. Here we go. So these are ways to pass data to components that are defined using public C# properties on the component class with the parameter attribute. Okay. A built-in reference type and a user-defined reference type are passed as component parameters. Okay. Avoid overwriting parameters. We know that. And that's something that I need to fix right the F now. Equals current NPC. If null, we'll create a new NPC client model. Save that. All right, let's keep reading here. Providing initial values is supported, but don't create a component that writes to its own parameters after the component is rendered for the first time. All right, that's fine. Title and body are set by arguments in the HTML tag. Yeah. It's parameter child component. So that paragraph is talking about this snippet here. And C# field property, a result of a method to a component parameters in it. Okay. The value of the attribute could typically be any C# expression that matches the type of the parameter. Optionally led with a razor reserved @ symbol, but this isn't required. So we can see how it's doing all that stuff here. Assigning a C# member to a component parameter, don't prefix the parameters as your day. So this is right. Doing @title is wrong. @title, uninitialized async title equals await do things. Whatever. Where's your component lifecycle? Where is this cascading parameters stuff? Transform or receive parameter each time new data is received. Okay. Apply the editor required attribute. Yeah, I don't care about that. Tuples. Route parameters. Give me a new tab. Blazor cascading parameter. Tell me about cascading parameters. Root level cascading values, cascading value component, cascading parameter attribute. Okay, root level cascading values. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Add cascading value. I don't want to mess with that. Cascading value. An ancestor component provides cascading value using the Blazor framework's cascading value component. That's not quite what I want to do, I don't think. Nope. Cascading parameter attribute. Here we go. Excuse me. Okay, so I don't actually want to use that cascading parameter thing at all. That was not what I wanted to do. I do need to set that. And out here in create npc.razor, I need to, let's go use metric equals at false current NPC equals at this dot current NPC. Save it. And let's go get rid of that. Save. And let's try running it now. Go to our test page. Current NPC is null. Let's continue. Okay. So, because I'm curious, I want to see which of these runs when. And it looks like the constructor of our component actually runs before onInitialized for our page model. And I'm okay with that as long as I know what's happening. So let's gain some understanding here. So we are in our NPC page model, onInitialized is happening. And let's hit continue. And then we hit the ViewNpcAttributes constructor. And it's creating that. But I suspect I don't want to do all of this. I'm just going to run to cursor here. Run to cursor. Go. Let's step out of here. Oh, jinkies. What are you even doing? Just go. Okay. All right. Good enough. So that's actually just displaying the stuff as generated. That works for me. So let's add a button to regen and see what happens. And we're going to add the button to regenerate it out here. And I think what I'm going to do is, let's put it up here. We're going to make it full width. Div class equals row. And let's add a button. Class equals call small 12, call medium 6, button primary on click equals at generate NPC, and I don't need the at. And I'm just going to call it reroll. I have a feeling that we got to at least refresh. We might even have to restart. Just go. Yeah, we're going to have to restart the app. We've made some significant changes. Come up to page model, do this, and generate NPC. Oh, that does a return. Aha! Public async task on reroll click. And we are just going to await this new task. That's right. We got to wrap it up like this. And current NPC equals generate NPC. And I'm going to get in the habit of making all of the button click handlers like this. I'm going to name them as on thing, and I'm going to make them all async. I'm just going to get in that habit right now. So instead of having this like so, I'm going to tidy this up so that it's a little bit easier to look at. And I'm going to say on at await. No. Await on reroll click. Doesn't like that much at all, does it? And I got to do at on click equals. Okay, it doesn't like that at all. I've seen async stuff used over here. We'll go back to the Microsoft documentation. Shrink this down so that it takes up less screen width. Just plow our way all the way back up to the top. Component classes, capture references, apply an attribute, tag helpers, child content, render fragments, yeah. Razor components, component classes. Where is the stuff I saw about awaiting async methods? Specifying base classes, don't care. Routing, not concerned. Markup. Asynchronous methods. Async don't support returning void. That's fine. I'm not returning void. I'm returning a task. Body equals that. Parameter stuff. The await operator can only be used within an async method. Consider marking this method with the async modifier and changing its return type to task. The component can use the oninitialized async lifecycle event. Oninitialized async. Okay. blah, blah, blah. Set by, razor syntax reference, parameters, more parameters. I know when I was reading through this, it gave me, or I spotted something about doing async calls inside onClick. Render fragment, render welcome into, render factor out child components purely as a way of reusing rendering logic. Define a render fragment and blah, 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 blah. Capture references to components. Not concerned with that. Apply an attribute. Conditional, templates, statics, tag helpers, SVGs, root component. And that's the end of it. Where did I see it? Open up a new tab. All right, Blazor async method for button click event. There we go. Let's go to good old Stack Overflow. GUI. All right, async void. Well, you can't do async void. You need to call the delete method properly and make it return task instead of void. You need the @ character before the onClick. Okay. And this is from when? 2019. Let's go back. Blazor .NET 8. Blazor event handling. And this is from this year. Good. Delegate event handlers, built-in event arguments, custom event arguments, Lambda expressions, etc. Okay, event handling, checked message, onClick, built-in event args, button at onClick. Okay. How about async? Where's the async stuff? Blazor register custom event type. Yeah. Not concerned with that stuff yet. Not worried here. Custom events. Export function. Nope. Custom paste. Blazor sample custom events. No. Lambdas. No. Event handlers. Tokens in a loop may cause poor rendering performance. No joke. Don't use loops directly in your UI code. It's a bad idea. Loop variable I. Event callback. Not so worried about that. Not yet, anyway. The button is selected in the child component. The parent component's show message method is called. Status change doesn't require in the callback method. Show message is called automatically to re-render the parent, just as child events trigger component re-rendering. Okay, that's good to know. Prevent default actions. Stop event propagation. Focusing. Oh, come on. You know what? Heck with it. Instead of on reroll click, being async. Void. So that idea I had about making all of my event handling code async turned out to be a dumb idea, but that's okay. I have dumb ideas all the time. Save. Come back out here and we'll get rid of a wait. And we'll stop trying to do it as a C# call. And we'll save everything. And we don't have any more errors. And I suspect that this may not work, but we're going to find out. I feel like I might need to do some other stuff. But we're going to learn. That's what this is all about. So let's go to the new page. Create-npc. Boop. All right, now let's re-roll. Son of a gun. It did the thing. And here's our re-render. That's great. Where did my Visual Studio go? Ah! Did I make it go somewhere weird? I think I did. I did something weird. Show all windows. Oh. Ah! Ha ha! I just made that as small as it would go is what I did. Because I'm a goofball. Re-render. Pull this down so that it's no longer as big as the screen. There we go. That's better. Re-roll. Good. All right. And I can do that until the cows come home. That's awesome. Excuse me. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to reference into this guy from over here. And uninitialized, okay. Do I have this dot view? I don't. Ack. Let's go back to the start here. Now my ViewNpcAttributes has a button, but AI button is handled is going to be false unless I attach an event handler to generate AI clicked. So let's save it. Can I make it a parameter? I don't think I use the event handler. No. Parameter, maybe? And I bet I have to add a get set to it. Get set. come over to the end and get rid of that. Let's go back to the start of the line. I might have to change that to an action. But we're going to find out. And generate AI clicked equals at this dot get AI description. Save. Come back out here to the page model. Public void on reroll click. Private NPC client model, generate NPC. Good. Now we're going to use public void on AI description requested. And it's going to receive a NPC client model. NPC model. Private async task of NPC client model. Get AI description. NPC client model. NPC model. I spelled NPC client model wrong here. Good. And I'm going to and I hadn't planned on getting this far in this particular episode. But that's okay. On AI description requested, NPC client model, NPC model, get AI description is going to be, excuse me, NPC client model, NPC AI equals NPC services dot get AI description of the, what's get AI description need? NPC model. And we have to await and return the NPC AI. And how am I doing it on the current UI? Let's take a look at this. On initialize, generate NPC, async task on AI button click, protected async task on AI button click, okay. NPC equals await, wait wrapper dot await task. Okay. And out here, on click equals on AI button click. Let's go to the definition of this. Okay. Well, maybe I could do it the same way. Heck with it. Async task. Await get AI description. NPC model. Now we're not actually going to do anything with this. I just want to make sure it does the right stuff here. And we've got ourselves a multi-state UI because when we click the do AI thing, I actually want it to transition to a different view when it comes back. So come out to create NPC, get AI description. I don't want to use get AI description. I want to use that. Paste it. I can get rid of all this nonsense. Click. Okay, so I got to come back up here, and I was right. This is not going to be an event handler. It is going to be an action. I'm going to save. Okay, I'll get that sorted in a minute. Invoke. We're going to get rid of that. So that solves that problem. On AI description requested has the wrong return type. So it's not actually going to be an action. That I need to pass into up here. It needs to be a function that accepts an NPC client model and returns a task. Save that. Save everything. Build. Rebuild solution. And let's see if that error comes back. It does not. So this afternoon, we're not actually going to see that AI description get rendered out to the page. I just want to see if all of this stuff I'm doing means we get to see the Generate AI button or Generate AI description button, and if it actually triggers the method. So I'm going to come up to debug and I'm going to get rid of all of my breakpoints. I don't have any. Good. So let's come out to the page model. And this is where we're defining what happens. And eventually we're going to have to wrap this in our weight thingy, our weight wrapper. I'll bring that in next session, which is going to be Tuesday morning. And let's run it and see what we get. I want to see if it actually, if by assigning this this handler actually shows our generate button. / create NPC. Yep, that's what I want. Give me the goodies. Look at that. So our generate AI description is now visible. And let's see if it actually calls it. Look at that. Here's our model. Beautiful. That's what's getting passed. And I'm actually going to step into this stuff and see what's what. Serialize for output. Beautiful. And now it's doing its thing. All right. So Tuesday, when we get back, I'm going to rewrap this in the weight wrapper. And we're going to work out how to do this multi-state thing. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So that when the AI thing comes back, instead of redrawing our preview or our view generated NPC model or whatever the heck it's called, view attributes, I'm going to have us flip to a different subcomponent. And that's what we're going to figure out on Tuesday. We're going to create and integrate that display NPC details component at that time. And then from there, we ought to be able to start, hey, look at this. We've got all of our stuff back. I'm just going to continue. It doesn't actually transition to an improved view or anything like that. But yeah, we're in much better spot than we were earlier today. And even yesterday. Yes, it's looking the same. We've got a little bit less visible functionality. Our scroll is a little tall. But we'll get all of those little detaily things figured out. But the big thing is our page code has gone from this giant mess with all the things that was going to get very, very hard to maintain and add new features and new capabilities to. We've gone from this to this. And that makes me pretty darn happy. So I am taking Monday off. I need to get a change of scenery and so on. This 3-month-long job search is pretty demoralizing. And I need a change of scenery. I got to do something different. So Mrs. and I are going to take a little bit of our savings and we're going to go to the coast and maybe go on some hikes and dip my toes in the ocean and so on and so forth. And, just do some self-care and some, care for ourselves collectively as a couple. And I'm going to come back Tuesday morning, hopefully refreshed and ready to make some more magic. So until then, be good to yourselves. As I'm sure you see, even at massive levels of experience, we're all juniors at something sometime. I consider myself to be junior with Blazor, but I'm learning, and I hope to continue being able to learn together with you. Have a great weekend. Be kind to yourselves. Be good to each other. Play safe.